understanding of science and technology than I do. You will pardon me if I commit intellectual and conceptual errors, but at least I intend to give it my best shot. So you shall have to credit the effort and overlook the other things. I'm particularly proud to share with you, on behalf of the Premier, that our government has invested billions of rands in educating our young people in sciences. It is no wonder that we have been performing well in terms of matric passes for over 5 years. Our commitment is unwavering. We understand that the challenges our society faces, from climate change to health issues, require a new generation of thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. And so, we need to produce a generation of scientists to help us in shaping a better future for all our people. In the words of the visionary Nkuputse, I quote, "Of what use will be your education if you can't help your country in an hour of need?" Close quote. Here, Tiro was poetically illuminating the correlation between education and social responsibility. He was challenging us to stop seeing education merely as a commodity that is meant to help us access and consume other commercial commodities. Education is meaningless if it is seen only as an individual achievement. Its utility lies in our ability to use it to move society forward. This is the true spirit of education. This sentiment was echoed by the great Pan-Africanist Kwame Nkrumah when he wisely stated that the greatest weapon for liberation of the mind is education. Close quote. I am quoting these luminaries to make a point that through education, we empower ourselves as individuals and the nation to tackle the challenges we collectively face. This year's theme could not have been more appropriate, which is living in a high-tech world. Should we be concerned? Science and technology offer us an incredible opportunity to innovate and improve lives. But it is our responsibility to ensure that the progress we make in science and technology benefits all members of society, not just a select few. As the provincial government, we are resolute that young people must embrace science and pursue careers instead. In truth, the most important qualities that young people need are curiosity and adaptability. In an era defined by rapid change and shifting social dynamics, these traits are an absolute necessity. Curiosity ignites learning and drives us to ask questions, explore the unknown, and seek out few forms of knowledge. When young people are curious, they develop a mindset that embraces new possibilities. Their youthful exuberance and ingenuity are the ingredients we need as a nation to solve our pressing issues, from improving public health care to advancing sustainable practices more broadly. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me, on behalf of the Free State Premier, Honorable Letuwa Matai, to wish you well in your deliberations today. We have confidence that these deliberations will yield outcomes that will imbue us with an ethic of working together, driven by a shared vision for a better tomorrow for all the people of our country. I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, MEC, again for those encouraging, inspirational words, notably recalling the inspiration which was given to the Daughters and Sons of Africa by Kwame Nkrumah, focusing on and investing in education. It is now my great privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, who is Professor Blayton Nzimande, South Africa's Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. The Honourable Minister needs no introduction in his long-standing career at the service of the people of South Africa. But what I would like to mention for for those of us who have the privilege of working very closely with the Minister, that we know that one of the driving forces which animates him is to ensure South Africa is prepared for the future. And preparing for the future means we invest in our youth, and it means we build the national enthusiasm for science, technology, and innovation. And that's why the Minister is so highly committed to the National Science Week and why he made it a priority to be with us this morning. And Minister, I would like to thank you for being with us. Honourable Minister Nzimande, please.
Phambili ngemfundo phambili. Abafundi eta. I don't hear you. Abafundi eta. Phambili ngescience phambili. Now I can hear you. Program Director, our Acting Director General of the Department of Science and Innovation. You will excuse me, my sinuses are completely out of order this morning. I hope that I will be able to deliver my speech without being too disturbed. Let me start by greeting MEC Jabu Balula, MEC for Community Safety, Roads and Transport in the Free State, who is also representing the Premier today, and thank you for your message. Let me also greet MEC Keto Makume, who is MEC for Finance and Tourism in the Free State. Professor Alfred Ngowi as our host, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research, Innovation and Engagement at this university. Councillor Grigori Ntatisi, Comrade Greg, as we know him, the Mayor of Mangaung Metro, Professor Fulufelo Nelomondo, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Research Foundation, one of the entities of our department. Professor Masinde, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering at Central University of Technology. Professor Wesa, the Assistant Dean, Research, Innovation and Engagement. Dr. Boysen, Director, Center for Rapid Prototyping and Manufacturing. Dr. Musia, the Managing Director of SASTA, which is one of our entities responsible largely for science engagement. Ms. Shompo Malihodi, the Mechatronics Apprentice, who is here, representatives of universities and TVET colleges, our teachers, and our most important guests and participants today, our learners, and the exhibitors who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really very delighted to be here today. Just yesterday, I was in the Northern Cape. We were taught how to pronounce Carnarvon. We were there, as you know, yesterday was World Tourism Day, and we were launching what we call astrotourism, which is tourism around astronomy. And the Northern Cape has got what is going to be the single largest science infrastructure in the world, the Square Kilometre Array, which MEC Balula, I would really like. One of my missions is that all the premiers in our country and all the MECs at some stage must visit that Square Kilometre Array as one of our premier science infrastructure. We did not get it on a plate. We bid for it, just like we bidded for the 2010 World Cup, and we won it together with Australia, but we are going to be having the bigger part of that science infrastructure in South Africa, in the Northern Cape. In Carnarvon, MC Getzo, I was talking to learners, like the many of you we are having here as learners yesterday, about science, especially astronomy. I was telling them about the benefits of astronomy. Few people know that how important the study of astronomy is and what are the products that we derive from astronomy. Without astronomy, we will not be having a Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a direct product of astronomy. We will also not be having the GPS without studying the universe and the stars. So some people say, yeah, Nzimande, you are studying the stars when we don't have houses, when we don't have enough schools and laboratories and so on. As if it's just something that is out there. We live in this world, our only Mother Earth, and we have to understand what is in the universe within which our Mother Earth is located, and also the benefits that we derive from astronomy. So we're launching the astrotourism strategy because we want to attract both domestic tourists and international tourists to visit the square kilometer array, amongst others. South Africa has a lot of science. We are the cradle of humankind, and we do have, by the way, the cradle of humankind in Gauteng, where human beings came from, the origins, here in South Africa and in the African continent. We also have in Hermanus the only African space weather station. Because today we are no longer interested in the weather in our atmosphere, say for aviation, but we are now, with climate change, also interested in space weather, which is much higher, because space also affects now increasingly aviation and others. The Space Weather Center, by the way, is serving the whole of the African continent. Through this astrotourism strategy, we need also to demonstrate and derive benefit from the connection between science and tourism. You know, MC Balula, one of the tasks that I have in this deployment is to make sure that South Africans understand the role of science in society. It's very important. We learned the hard way during COVID-19 when we found out that some of our people were resisting vaccination. So that poses the task of having to understand that. But also science is very important for our young people. There are many careers in science. I hope that 10 years from now, amongst the learners who will be here, there will be those who will say, I went to the Science Week in the Free State, in Mangaung, and I got interested in science. Today I'm a scientist, 10, 15 years from now. So amongst you here, we want scientists to pursue science as a career. In any case, the future is science. You see, acting DG, I was just thinking about this, that it would have been nice, by the way, that our theme, living in a high-tech world, should we be concerned that we actually have a competition amongst the learners to write a one-page essay, each one of you, and we judge, and the best essay gets an award that we can decide upon. Why don't we do that? Would you be interested in answering that question? Living in a high-tech world, should we be concerned? Do you think you can be able to write a page of that answer? Let's organize it together with the Department of Education here in the Free State. And by the way, as the mayor was saying, one thing we are very proud about the Free State is that we have consistently over the last 5 years been performing well in matric. And those of you who are in matric, don't disappoint us. Follow along those lines and give yourself a big round of applause for that. Just the last point on astrotourism that we were launching yesterday, because it's all part of science. South Africa is known for the Big Five, the Kruger National Park, the Table Mountain. I'm sure the Free State has got its own tourist spots. But we want to say South Africa is more than just those. South Africa also is about science. My dream is that the next Albert Einstein, do some of you know about Einstein? Ah, that's great. Next Einstein comes from South Africa. Because there is nothing that we are not capable of doing. We usually host our National Science Week at the beginning of August of every year. This time we delayed it a bit because of the elections. We wanted to all be settled so that we are able to launch this and we can focus on this week that we are starting today. This is going to finish on Friday as our Science Week. I've already told you about the theme and you have agreed that you are ready to write one page. Living in a high-tech world, should we be concerned? By the way, the other thing that is important about astronomy, just to excite you, astronomy asks very important questions. The universe in which we live, there are these planets and all that. If I'm not mistaken, Professor Nelumondo, we only understand not more than 5% of our universe through the science that we have today. So 95% of the universe, we don't understand it. One question is, are we the only living species in the universe? Or there are others who are living in other planets or in other parts of the universe? What do you think? Are there people living? Yes, no. That's what astronomy also is about. Because those are very important questions, because we don't want to think that maybe we are the only ones who are living species here, only to find that we may have neighbors, distant as they may be, that we do not know about. What are these things that we normally claim to see? The visitors who come and then disappear, and we claim that we have seen something. We still have to answer those questions. And you, as the learners, you are the future to also help us to answer those questions. So our National Science Week, therefore, fulfills our department strategy on science engagement, which draws from our 1996 white paper on science and technology. Those who are interested, go to our website and look at our white paper, because that will give you a sense of what we are about. This white paper required government to initiate a national program to build a science literate, science aware, and independently opinionated society in South Africa. On astronomy as an example again, do we know where the 365 days as the length of the year comes from? Do we know? Do we? Yes. I'm glad if you know. For those who do not know, it was the Egyptians, through the study of the stars, who actually came up with the fact that the year is 365 days. There's another byproduct of astronomy. Now, it is important to remember that it was the first democratic government in 1994 under President Mandela which made the decision to make science accessible to all and the establishment of a standalone Department of Science to pay priority attention to science matters as part of government's and societal agenda. There are a number of reasons why this is important. One of those reasons is our own history of racial exclusion and oppression. You are a lucky generation because this country was liberated in 1994, who can now be able to do anything that you want to do. Let me tell you about myself a bit. I went to university my first year, 1976. We never finished that year, by the way. Because of the student protests, I was at the University of Zululand, the university was shut down. But there was no faculty or school of engineering in any of the black universities under apartheid. Because according to Verwoerd, we were supposed to be laborers who must not study mathematics or engineering because we were not capable as black people that according to the apartheid rulers at that time. So my department still has that task to continue to prove them wrong. That the color of one's skin does not determine your mental capacity. Not at all. So we are trying to say to you, as our learners, take this opportunity with both hands that today you can be able to study any discipline, including studying the stars, in order to improve the world in which we live. In other words, you have no limit. I don't want to say the sky is the limit. Even the sky is not the limit, because I must be careful. There is a game this afternoon. So I mustn't be seen as if I'm supporting a particular team. By the way, I'm not supporting any of the teams that are playing this afternoon. So even the sky to you is no longer the limit, by the way. Now, you know, Comrade Greg, I'm used to calling you that. Our lecturers at University of Zululand, when we went to first year economics, I ended up abandoning economics, by the way, at university, because I said, I haven't come here to stay. I want to get my degree, go and assist my mother to educate the siblings who come after me, like many of us here who are faced with that. He said, 150 of you in first year class. Do you think you as black people can understand economics? You will be lucky if 5 of you reach third year. Telling us at first year. And he says, you go around shouting here, black power, black power. You must know your black power is only good behind the spade. Would tell us in class. That's where we come from. I hope, by the way, you won't only study the stars, you must also study our own history as to where we come from. We are trying to change this government.